Well, hello, friends. This here's David Vos. Today is January 22nd, 2016. It's good to see everybody today. Well, it's a beautiful day in New Mexico, and I'm out here on my property. Very excited to get out here and just start making it home. And I recommend everybody do this. I think a lot of you guys, I took a drive this last winter, and I went up there to New York, and I drove all around, and I saw New York City, and not impressed. I think it's human nature to see those buildings, and even I saw the buildings, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. But you look around, and there's people walking around, and it's like they're in prison. There's no way out of this. I don't understand how people feel like this is what they want to do. Walk around in a damp city, people walking by you don't know who they are, they don't say hello. Millions of them. A lot of them just soon mug you and take your money, and it's a bunch of faceless people, and you're walking around in this terrifying place. It's cold, it's damp, there's no love there, faceless people. The whole place stands for the capitalistic system. This is what gets me. All right, I'm watching the news, and I didn't notice this when I was younger. I didn't pay attention. I think most Christians identify with Republicans, especially white Christians. And I thought it was because they were the best. Growing up, I realized that, and I know a lot of you aren't going to like this. You haven't opened your eyes and you don't see this, because you see somebody like Hannity and Bill O'Reilly and you think, oh, they're just telling the truth. Tell it, brother. Right? We need this capitalism. This is what this Constitution. The truth is the capitalism's not the Constitution, friends. And we've been duped. They keep talking about less government. This is their mantra. Less government and I believe in less government, friends. Oh my goodness, do I believe in less government. But you see, there's no book somewhere that says that government has to be duly elected people. Government can mean dictatorship, too. I don't like that either. You see, and we're being ruled over by corporate entities. That's government. However you want to slice it, they're ruling over you. They may be faceless. Oh, we've heard of them. Oh, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, right? Oh, and he earned it. Facebook guy that, whatever. The other day I was trying to figure out, I wonder why Geraldo's still on TV, right? Because he lost his show. Nobody wanted to watch it. No ratings. And, he's done all kinds of stunts to try and stay in there, right? Faking that he's in some kind of battle and war and everything. I like him as a human being, though. And then I realized he's just an actor, like Hannity. But the other day, they were talking, he was like, he goes on the 5 sometimes. And during the day, I'll be doing some videos, and I'll flip through the channels, and I'll look at the news because I want to know what's going on. I want to watch these yahoos, especially right now around election time. And Geraldo says, yeah, I'm a Jew. And I'm like, oh, you and Goldberg that advises Bill O'Reilly about once or twice every week. And that other comedian that Bill O'Reilly's running around the... oh man, I can't even think of him, but he's got the beard kind of like mine, and sometimes he wears a goatee, and he's that comedian guy that's always on there. I can't remember his name. But these guys are all Jews. Why is that? Why do you got the same family debating democracy, I was told it's the Democrat, because it's not democracy, but the Democrat Party, not the Democratic Party. The Democrat Party was saying that, they're going on and on about how terrible the Republicans are. And then you've got the Republican Party going on about how terrible the Democrats are. One wants big business to rule our lives in every aspect. Oh, we're not. Have you ever noticed everything that Republicans say has to do with giving everything over into the rich. And that's why they're letting Trump go. He's one of their rich guys, I mean, might as well be Warren Buffett. They're part of the family. They're the ones with all the wealth. They've really got us bamboozled, I'll tell you. But, and as you get Bernie Sanders out there running around saying, oh, we're going to tax 90%. And that actually sounds like such a terrible thing. We're like, oh, that would be crazy. 90% of our earnings. No, that's not what he believes. He's talking about 90% of these wealthy. Basically, he's talking about taking down the corporate bosses. He said, oh, well, then what would we do? We wouldn't be able to eat. He'd ruin America. We wouldn't be able to eat. You go out there and plant seed in the ground, it grows up. That's what we eat. Right now, we're dependent on corporate America to feed us. We don't need corporate America. Yeah, tax them. 90%. Sure. Anything that these guys do, is that, well, they won't be able to make any money. They won't be able to be billionaires and trillionaires then. Good. Same reason why I like our Constitution, which says, for the people, by the people. Right? So, they're not going to tax me 90% because I'm not going to be selling anything. If you're going to sell something and make a big profit and monopolize energy and resources, that should be for the people, right? 90%. If it's your idea, you get 10%, right? You can make something off of this. But if it's for the people, you can't, be a Bill Gates and start the whole internet system. And this turns into the entire way that the human race becomes entrapped into this little, and he's making all this money in billions and billions, and he runs this and he drives us into a little hole and say, oh, well, that'd be bad if we would sort of tax that kind of thing 90% so that he's got no incentive to build this huge New York City and these banks and these insurance companies that just takes our money every week for nothing, right? Because he can lobby Congress and make a law that says we've got to pay the insurance company. We've got to pay the bank. He gets the mortgage rate. Oh, the banks are going down. We're going to have to bail them out. Let's let them go down. Oh, but it would be the end of the world. Yeah, it would be. For a lot of people, it's going to be the end of the world because most of you people just don't know what you're going to do without corporate leaders, without bureaucratic bosses. The entire African American race thinks that if they don't have a Democratic Party out there, or the Democrat Party, out there and telling everybody what they need and how to get more welfare and, we need some of our money too, right? This is just a way to appease you while they rule over you and destroy you. Is it worth it? They're putting your children on drugs. Do you know what Fast and Furious really is? Did you know that this Chapo is employed by the CIA? Do you know that we send him into Mexico? You hear about all this stuff where, Mexico is such a corrupt country. You go down there and get robbed and you just drive down the highway, right? And the police take your money and say, okay, you can go on now. You'll just be stopped if you've got a license plate that's from America. They'll stop you along the road, take everything you got, and just let you go. What kind of corruption is that? I've heard so much corruption, it's terrible. Now, the drug lords rule the streets, the mafia. Oh, it's terrible down there. And we're up here in the United States, we're doing great. See, it's just corporate mafia up here. The government comes along and demands you give them money, see their papers, rob you along the highway. And this is literal. They'll stop people. If you've got a whole bunch of money in your car and a policeman stops you along the road, they will take and confiscate your money. Oh, but it's the law. And you can get it back, see, in a couple of years and through a bunch of red tape. And if you want to go through courts and pay a bunch of lawyers, you'll get your money, part of it back. And, meantime, it's been laundered and so forth. See, Chapo is a CIA agent. He's down there running. This is why he's got so much power. You people don't get this kind of power. There ain't no ISIS that got this kind of power. It's organized by the greatest power in the universe, and that's the CIA, the military-industrial complex, which we took over years ago. The KGB, the CIA, they run it all. The Jesuits is what's behind all of that. They run our country. They make you think that you've got a new religion, and they're the ones that invented it. Somebody was asking me about Jehovah's Witnesses the other day, and they're like, well, are they all right? Should I join the Jehovah's Witnesses? Friends, if the fact that they worship Jehovah doesn't, tip you off, just look at what they are. They are a group that brings you in to teach righteousness and love. No, that's not what they're there for. They're there to teach you how to become a good middle management. See, that's why there's so much control. You don't do what they say, you're out. They shun you. You got to make sure you do what they say. It's all about control and doing what they say. Now, why? What do they care? Well, if they can control you in your mind, and they can teach you how to write everything down, and you got to write your address and go to the door to door and put it all in a little briefcase and be all organized, and you got a little ministry school where they teach you how to talk, how to get along, how to obey. And why? This is for business. This is so that they're big corporate entities like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They need people to manage their companies. And they need people they can control and they can trust. This is why they run people for president that are Mormons or Seventh-day Adventists like Ben Carson, because they can control him. Because they know what he believes. They know what he believes. They know that he believes in Judaism and Judeo-Christianity, which means a type of religion that we're the best and everybody else needs to die. They don't fall in line over there and give us that oil that we need over there in the Middle East. We'll just wipe them out. We need somebody that's willing to go over there and follow in line. Got to be able to control these people. You can control Seventh-day Adventists because you know what they believe. You've actually manipulated and formed their beliefs. And it fits along the Judeo-Christian scheme of things. And they're good, doctors. A lot of Seventh-day Adventists in the medical industry. Hence why Ben Carson was shoved through the lines, and as a patron, it's just all propaganda. Have you ever noticed that the Mormon church put out there Donnie and Marie, two little white people that, put a little smiley face? They had a wonderful smile. See? And it was propaganda to bring everybody into the Mormon church, because a lot of the people in the Mormon church are FBI and CIA. A lot of them are in Area 51, because you see they can control Mormons because they're under oath and they've been raised in this organization. You see, and then Jehovah's Witnesses sent out the Jackson family, because they're not as high. They're not recruiting high up FBI, CIA agents. They're recruiting middle management, and they want people they can control, and they're trying to get into the minority groups, and so they're putting out on as their face Michael Jackson. Now, Michael Jackson was a great guy. He was raised in a moral environment. He was a good person, and I really do think that Michael Jackson was a great person. I think they murdered him because he didn't want to follow in line. Say, oops, somebody woke up and didn't want to play with the program. So they had to get rid of him. See, when they got rid of Kennedy, they had to get rid of his girlfriend too, because she knew everything too, and his brother. Anybody that knew anything. And Ted Kennedy, they just gave him a lobotomy and said, listen, you do anything that we don't like. But meantime, you can have all the women and the booze you want. Just don't say anything. So this is the way it is. They control everything. We're controlling the Mexican government. Is all this corruption down there? It's us. The CIA. Why do they control? Why do they do it? What's all the corruption? We don't understand, right? Well, what they do is they send people in working for the CIA, get them to bring in the drugs so they can put people in prison. They make a lot of money off lawyers, doctors, health industry, pharmaceutical drugs, corruption, prisons. All this is huge, big, big business. And they need lots of people to break the law so they can start the process of torture. And it's all being run, this entire megalithic, brainwashing, insane world, represented by New York City, where you all love New York City, Dallas. This is wonderful. Make a movie about this. This is Dallas. This is great, right? All these buildings and all this wonderful stuff and flashy stuff, and you're just being mesmerized. Truth is that I live out here in New Mexico, and I wake up every day, and the sun comes up, and the flowers are blooming in the spring, and the sun shines beaming down, and I watch my puppies play, and the grass just blowing in the wind, and the sunsets are beautiful, and I'm at peace. And I don't have to worry about any of this garbage. But you see, here's the problem. Government's now getting so big and the corruption's so bad, they're beating down my door here in New Mexico now. So it's time that we got to stop this, friends. And the only way we can do it is to wake up. Remember we talked about in the last video that David conquered Saul not by going out there and getting a gun and shooting him, which he had the chance to do 3 times. But he said, no, I'm going to wait upon the Lord. Because you see, this is a spiritual battle. And there's things going on behind the scenes, friends. Right now there's a battle to take control. And there isn't any of these candidates that is working for us, friends. I mean, sometimes you'll look at people like, oh, Donald Trump, he's going to shake it up, and he's going to go in there and kill people. That's great, right? We need to kill them all. Only problem is that it's just, we kill them and they kill us, and then, we're going to strengthen the economy. No, he's going to strengthen the 90%. You and I are going to get nothing. More welfare, is that what you want? Which is more control, more drugs, more prisons, more, we got to obey the law, got to go to judge and go into the court, and this is what, it's all just same old, only worse with Trump. Do you realize that? You really think he's going to go back to the Constitution? This is what we need. He said Ted Cruz. Well, he seems so nice. Do you realize how well he's able to talk? Oh man, he's got it all down. He didn't have to look at a paper. He don't use a cue card. This man's smart. He has been raised for this. And what's his idea? More economy. More money in the pockets of the rich. And, I really think these people are sincere. Just like Carson. I really believe he's sincere, and he's got such a good heart. He might actually be a good president. He might wake up halfway through his presidency and stop doing what these goons want him to do. I like Ben Carson. I like Ted Cruz. I mean, it's hard not to like these people. They seem nice. And sometimes they say stuff that we've heard all of our life, and it's like, oh, yeah, kill him. And we think, oh, this is great. He wants to go and carpet bomb the whole Middle East. You see, I know, once he says that, I know. Well, I don't have to say anything, because if they let you go this far into the system, you're probably not going to, You notice Rand Paul's gone. See, I think he actually was going to do something to help us. And they did everything they could to keep him out of the front light. But anyway, there's no hope for him anymore, as far as I can tell. They didn't even let him on the debate last time. I don't think they're going to let him into the next debate, and I think it's over. They're going to pretend he's not there now. And I think they're trying to do that with Ben Carson, because I think he was kind of like, kind of waking up. And they didn't like that. And they're like, oh, he's starting to wake up. He's not telling people what we want him to say. So, nah. And then there's a fight between the establishment right now, whether to go total commerce with Trump, right? Warren Buffett style, Bill Gates, take over the world this way. Or whether he's going to, we're going to go Ted Cruz and just, pretend we're going to clean up Congress and we're going to do all this great stuff and it's really just going to be for all the rich. But either way, whatever they decide, and I still think that there's a good chance they're going to end up going with Bush, with Jeb Bush. I think it's a setup, but I don't know what's going on. None of us really know, but it'll probably be one of those 3. But friends, all I'm telling you, man, is that this is a crazy world, and I don't know why we're sitting here believing in it. I don't know why we're just, it's so nice and beautiful. We're turning on television and trying to, figure out which one of these goons we're going to vote for when we don't get to vote anyway. See, nobody's voting for this nominee. They're just choosing the nominee behind the scenes, and I don't even know who's choosing them. Do you know? Did they call you? Did they ask you who you wanted? It wouldn't matter anyway. They've only given us these few choices, and these are pre-hand selected people. That any one of them, there's a reason for each and every one of them that's up there on that stage. And this thing with Hillary, I tell you what, if this isn't a setup, we are the biggest goons that ever was in the universe. Probably in this sector of the entire galaxy, I don't think there's a bunch of goons worse than we are. If we're going to sit there and watch this murdering thief get elected by the people into an office because she's for women, when her and her husband have been the worst thing that ever hit this world for women and their rights, right? I mean, I'm watching Bill Bill Clinton trying to elect his wife, and I mean, he's just shaking. He's just thinner than a rail. The poor guy's not got much longer to live. So there's good living for you, and what it does for you. And so even the puppets die, friends. We heard not too long ago that Carter was dying of cancer. You see, these people, they don't have the answers. They're just puppets. They believe what they're doing because this is where they were raised, you know. They're being used. Jehovah's Witnesses are being used for mental management. People are, you know, filing in lock, stock, and barrel, doing what they're told, because we're all being brainwashed, friends. But there's a few of us. There's a few of us on this earth that's waking up right now. And it's going to be up to us, friends. We don't go out and get our muskets and clean our guns and buy some more cannons. That's not going to fix it. We tried that for thousands of years, and an eye for an eye didn't work. Let's do it David's way, and let's stand back and let our Father in heaven fix this. And what are we going to do? Enlighten the world, use the channels of wisdom, show the world love, and get the word out. So, friends, that's all we've got. All we've got is wisdom and love. And wisdom will win if we can get the people to know the truth. We've got to wake people up. So, friends, let's get the word out. This here's David Vos, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off today. You guys have a great one.